The future-ready leader, intercultural intelligence as a core executive competency. Years ago, when I transitioned from one continent to another, I entered a professional environment confident in my skills, my education, and my experience. Within weeks, I sensed subtle friction, not because of incompetence, but because of communication style. In one meeting, I offered what I believed was clear, efficient, and constructive feedback. Direct, solution-oriented. The room went silent. Later, a colleague approached me and said, "Mustafa, your intention was good, but here, tone carries as much weight as content." That moment changed my understanding of leadership. Competence travels across borders, communication does not. And if leaders do not adapt their lens, even excellence can be misunderstood. That realization shaped my work in intercultural intelligence. Hola, bonjour, hello, namaste, konnichiwa, ubuntu, ni hao. Hi everyone. My name is Mustafa Amraoui. For over 3 decades, across 3 continents, I have worked at the intersection of leadership, culture, and organizational performance. I hold an MBA focused on organizational development, and my research explored the impact of culture on multicultural teams, communication, dynamics, and performance. Over the years, I have advised senior leaders, educational institutions, HR professionals, and executive teams on how to build inclusive, high-performing environments that transcend cultural and linguistic barriers. My work has consistently focused on one central question: how can leaders move beyond managing diversity and begin leading human complexity? It's a privilege to contribute to YouLead Space and to reflect with you on what it means to become a future-ready leader. Globalization is no longer geographical, it is cultural. Your teams may be located in one country, but they represent multiple value systems, communication styles, expectations about authority, time, risk, and trust. In this reality, intercultural intelligence is no longer a soft skill, it's a strategic leadership competency. The future-ready leader understands this shift. Let me share actually 3 leadership transformations that define that future. Framework 1. From cultural assumption to cultural awareness. Most executives operate from deeply internalized cultural norms, often unconsciously. How we define efficiency, how we give feedback, how quickly we expect decisions to be made, what we consider respectful disagreement. These norms feel universal. They are not. Future-ready leaders develop what I call cultural self-awareness. They ask, which of my leadership preferences are universal best practices and which are cultural defaults. Now, in your last major decision, did your leadership style create clarity for everyone or only for those who share your cultural lens? Intercultural intelligence begins with awareness before adaptation. Framework 2. From control to contextual leadership. Traditional leadership models emphasize control, consistency, and uniformity, but multicultural environments require contextual intelligence. The same directive tone that signals confidence in one culture may signal arrogance in another. The same collaborative approach that builds inclusive in one context may create confusion in a high power distance culture. Future-ready leaders do not abandon standards, they adapt delivery. They understand that leadership effectiveness is relational, not rigid. They ask, what does trust look like in this cultural context? What does credibility look like here? It's not about changing who you are, it's about expanding your behavioral repertoire. And that expansion requires humility. Framework 3. From managing diversity to leveraging cognitive difference. Many organizations still approach diversity through metrics and representation. Important, but insufficient. The real competitive advantage lies in cognitive diversity. Different ways of solving problems, different tolerance for ambiguity, different risk thresholds, different approaches to conflict, but cognitive diversity only adds value when leaders create psychological safety. When disagreement is not interpreted as disloyalty, when silence is not misinterpreted as incompetence. Now, ask yourself, do my teams feel safe challenging me? Across cultures, do they adapt to my style in order to survive? The future-ready leader transforms cultural friction into strategic clarity. Across my work with multicultural teams, one consistent pattern emerges. Leaders who succeed globally are not those with the strongest authority, they are those with the strongest adaptability anchored in clear values. They combine clarity of purpose, stability of character, flexibility of behavior. That combination defines intercultural intelligence, and it builds resilience, not just operational resilience, but relational resilience. In volatile environments, strategies change, but trust sustains performance. The future-ready leader understands that culture is not a peripheral variable. It is the operating system of leadership. Intercultural intelligence is not about being agreeable, it is about being aware. It's not about adapting for comfort, it's about adapting for effectiveness. So, let me leave you with one final reflection. Knowing what you now know about intercultural intelligence, if you were starting fresh tomorrow, that's what we call zero-based thinking, what would you do differently? Would you listen differently? Frame decisions differently? Invite disagreement differently? Challenge your own assumptions differently? Future-ready leadership does not begin with a new strategy, it begins with a new lens, and that shift begins with you.